Today, we're going to talk about all of those annoying Medicare calls. So I talk to people all day, and yeah, they're completely tired of them. Some people get 25, 30, 40. I've heard somebody get 50 calls a day, particularly during the season, particularly the Medicare season. The annual enrollment period in October starts October 15th, and yeah, around October 1st, and the calls and the commercials, and it just gets crazy. So let's talk about that today and make sure you protect yourself and your family and what you can do about some of these annoying calls. Well, Medicare knows about it. The Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services knows about all the annoying calls, and they've been trying to pass regulations. And they have passed regulations. So a lot of the regulations just passed. So hopefully you've started to see a reduction of the calls. These other regulations are going to start September. But given the Supreme Court ruling that essentially CMS and the Federal Trade Commission and the Federal Communications Commission, their regulatory authority is pretty much out the window. Now, yeah, we were so close to getting rid of those Medicare sales calls because of all of the regulations they passed. One of the regulations they recently passed is Medicare sales agents, health insurance companies, brokers, and all the rest of it. You could only call if it was like a one-to-one. So if Jane Smith says, call me about Medicare Advantage, then you could call that person. So it was a one-for-one. Up until now, Jane Smith said, hey, call me about Medicare Advantage. You'd call about Medicare Advantage, and Jane said, oh, yeah, no, I'm just checking. I'm not really interested. And that company, that health insurance company or the broker or the agent, whoever, and says, well, I just paid, $35 for Facebook for this lead, and I'm out $35. So they sell it to somebody else. Hey, I've got a bunch of leads. You want these leads? They sell it to this person, this other broker, and this other agent, this other one, and $1 here, $5 here, and they get their money back. And that's how everybody calls you. Well, with the CMS regulation, you can't do that anymore. Well, as of when the regulation, but as of last week, everything changes, obviously. There were actually some call centers. That was their kind of MO. So there was this big call center. I've heard at least one in the United States with hundreds of employees. And that was their business process. Their MO was to just buy a whole bunch of cheap leads and, secondary, and just cold call people too, which is also not legal. It's not, CMS doesn't allow it. Legal versus regulation, as we know now, are different things. But there's at least one big call center that closed down because, okay, well, under these new regulations, we're going to have a hard time doing, the cold calling and harassing people and trying to, push them into this, that, and the other. So they actually closed down. But with the Supreme Court ruling, I pretty much think the people that had that company, oh, well, let's go ahead and restart again. Because what's going to happen is those big telemarketers and the cold callers and all the rest of it are going to find a judge somewhere in the country that's sympathetic to them. They will go to that judge's jurisdiction, file a lawsuit, and say, hey, this is free speech. We can call anybody anytime we want, day or night. Day or night, that's a whole that's an FCC regulation that you can't call people after 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or something like that. But so what needs to happen is Congress needs to actually do something and pass laws to get this done. And yeah, I don't see that happening anytime in the near future, unfortunately. So we were so close to living peacefully without all these annoying calls, but yeah, I don't think that's going to happen now, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs. One thing in these calls, I always tell people when they sign up for a Medicare supplement plan, because when you have original Medicare Part A and Part B, there are gaps. The biggest one for Part B is that, 20% co-insurance. So if you go to the doctor and have, $100,000 surgery, you have to pay 20%, $20,000 out of your pocket. So what people do is they either get a Medicare Advantage plan or a Medicare supplement plan. And I always recommend a Medicare supplement plan if you can afford it. Those are the plan N and the G. If not, then Medicare Advantage is, is a good option. But whenever people sign up for a Medicare supplement plan, they also have to enroll in a prescription drug plan. Medicare Advantage plans, those are usually bundled up in there with them. But a Medicare supplement plan, you have to get the prescription drug plan separately. And most of the time, it's with a different company. So one of the large health insurance companies, I never mention company names in any of my videos. I never mention current presidents in my videos. If the president's not dead, I don't mention their names. Try to stay apolitical and all the rest of it. But so when you sign up with a prescription drug plan, you are that company's customer. And therefore they are allowed to call you. There, those regulations that might be going out the window, that is still there, and the company is allowed to contact you because you're their client. And what we see happening is those companies, all health insurance companies, make a lot more money with those Medicare Advantage plans. That's why they offer them for zero premium to get you, because they make money. All that money you paid in the FICA all those decades, they go to Washington and they get that from the government. So these companies make a lot more money when you sign up for a Medicare Advantage plan versus a Medicare supplement plan. So when you're signed up for a Part D plan, they're allowed to contact you. And what we see happening is they will contact you and try to entice you to switch from your Medicare supplement plan to a Medicare Advantage plan. They tell you, oh, you're paying, $120 now for your, Medicare supplement plan N, and it doesn't cover dental, vision, and hearing. Hey, we've got a plan in your new plan in your area that covers dental, vision, and hearing, and it's zero premium and all this kind of good stuff. You want to go ahead and switch to that? And you're like, oh, wow, it's a new plan and stuff but you don't realize now you're giving up Part A and Part B. You're going to have to deal with the insurance companies, the pre-authorizations, and the network. So it's not between you and your doctor anymore. It's between you and your doctor and some, computer or AI or, some bean counter that wants to make more profit versus taking care of your health. So just be careful. That's just a cautionary statement of watch out. If you're in a Medicare supplement plan and somebody wants to switch you to some new plan in your area, please be careful. All right. Another thing, hopefully. So how do we solve this now that the government can't really regulate these any longer the way it's been done? It's going to be a new system, and if we all get together, and I guess if we do a class action suit and find a sympathetic judge somewhere in the country, then we can do it, or we can sit around and wait for Congress to do it. But one thing you can do is, if you get these calls and just kind of play around with them a little bit when they call, and say, oh yeah, that's interesting, how'd you get my information? Oh well, yeah, they'll give you some sneaky whatever. Again, if it's not a one-to-one, then you can call the insurance company and say, hey, because these agents and brokers, they have to be contracted with the insurance companies to enroll you in those companies. So call those insurance companies and say, hey, I just got contacted by this person, and they didn't have my information. They must have bought it from some other place, and they keep calling me. And so yeah, that's the one thing you can complain. You can also complain directly to Medicare, but since they don't really have any authority anymore as of last week, I'm not sure how that is going to help. All right, so yeah, give me your in the comments below. Let me know how many annoying calls you are getting. If it's been reduced, again, these with the new regulations that the CMS has passed, I think I have seen kind of a downward call volume per day from people, that they've gotten less harassing calls. But yeah, let me know if that's the case for you, and then keep me posted on whether that's going to start going up again now that the Supreme Court has passed that ruling. All right, so that is it for today on that one. Let's get into your questions. All right. Looks like before we started here, they were having some, y'all are hooking me up on getting this out to people. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's see. There we go. The question. Hey, Myrna, can I draw from my deceased husband of 15 years? Absolutely. If your benefit amount is less than his or his, yes, and if you're at least 60 years old and you're currently not married, you can remarry after 60 years old. If you're remarried after 60, you're good. But yeah, number one is if his benefit is higher, if you're at least 60 and you're single or you remarried after 60, then absolutely. Then just call Social Security and tell them you want to file for a surviving spouse claim. And then you'll need obviously proof that you were married. But don't waste time getting the proof now. You know, the marriage certificate and the divorce decree and everything. Um, Call Social Security and schedule an appointment, and they can tell you on the phone whether there's any extra money there for you. It's like every 15 minutes they call with BS numbers. Yeah, yeah. Again, it's they're sharing, and those overseas, um, yeah, the call centers from overseas, usually the Philippines or India or things like that, to places like that. Yeah, CMS is trying to regulate those and make those the responsibility. So if you get some call from someone in the Philippines, a cold call, which is against regulations, it's not illegal, but it's against regulations. So we have to make that difference now, I get nowadays. So CMS unfortunately doesn't, probably not going to have authority to do anything. But if you get a call from overseas, a cold call, and play around. So, oh yeah, I'm very interested. If you got a little time to mess with somebody, say I'm very interested, and then they'll say, oh, okay, well we'll have our Medicare insurance agent call you then. So then they will sell that lead to someone in the United States that's actually licensed in your state, and they will call you and say, hey, I understand you're interested in X, Y, or Z, and get the person's name and, find out what companies they're selling, and then say, all right, well, I got your name and everything like that. And so I'm going to call the company now. So, yeah, because they're not supposed to be cold calling like that. But again, someone's going to sue and find a sympathetic judge, and they're going to be able to do whatever they want to do. So, if you're 62, 63 and file a few months before your birthday, yeah, birthday doesn't really matter. Is it the file date or the pay date that locks in payment amount? It's the date you start your benefits, not the file date or not the pay date. Can you tell Social Security not to begin until a specific date? No, you can tell them to begin it on a specific month, so you don't miss jump and pay amount with the next birthday. Yeah, there is no jump and pay amount with the next birthday. Every month, it doesn't matter in your birthday, except for if you're going to file at 62. The only thing is when you start your benefits at 62, you have to be 62 the entire month. That's the only time the birthday really matters in your particular case. So you have to be 62 the entire month. So if you're not 62, if you don't turn 62 on the first, then you have to wait till the next month to start your benefits. So if you start your benefits in February, your pay comes in March. And yeah, every month you wait, it's not on your birthday. Every month you wait, your benefits go up. So yeah, there is no, next birthday. A lot of people misunderstand that. All right. Yep. You can pick the start date. It's called the MOE, month of entitlement. If one's Medicare Advantage plan goes away, is the person entitled to go to a supplement plan without medical underwriting, or do they have to search for another Advantage plan? Yes, there is a special enrollment period that if your company is leaving, you just might have a guaranteed issue. Usually it's for a Plan G, but yeah, that's good. This is actually going to be a good opportunity because, as I mentioned in a bunch of my other videos, this is the biggest year. 2025 is going to be the biggest year for a bunch of changes for Medicare Advantage plans because of, again, government is coming down, the CMS is coming down and giving these companies less money because it's costing too much. The intention of Medicare Advantage was to save Medicare money, but it turns out these Medicare Advantage plans are actually costing more money. And there's a bunch of other changes that happen. So yeah, this year is really the time to check your Medicare Advantage plan, because these companies are pulling out of areas that they're not making enough profit. They're going to be increasing, the co-insurance and the co-payments for, usually places you don't notice until you notice. So yeah, if your company that you have, you receive what's called the ANOC, the Annual Notice of Change. You'll get that in September. And if they say, which a lot of people are going to receive these, hey, we're pulling out of your area, read it as, yeah, we're not making enough money on you. We're going to drop this area completely. Or, you know, give a plan that has terror, because there's plans out in the, like in the Nevada desert, that have, they're just, Wyoming and way out in the sticks, that have just terrible and don't cover dental, vision, or really anything. And, $600 a day for hospitals. They're just terrible, terrible plans. And yeah, so they might pull completely out or just downgrade you to a really bad plan. So that's why you have to check. You really have to check this time. So again, how do you check? You get with your agent or broker, and or you give us a call. If you click on the little link I put up there, I'll put it up there again. And I've got a little one-on-one Medicare help, and you can choose a little option that, hey, I'm good now, but contact me in October when the new plans come out, and we'll have someone in my network give you a call and contact you, because we don't call you unless you tell us to. So unless you give us authority or you call us first, we don't call you. So yes, you have a special enrollment period in that case to switch to a Medicare supplement plan, and there's a strong possibility that you won't have any health underwriting. So this might be good for people that can afford the Medicare supplement plans. I wish everybody could, because if you actually get sick, Medicare supplement plans are actually cheaper in the long term. If you never get sick, if you live the next 50 years of your life and never get sick, then Medicare Advantage, yeah, that was definitely the way to go. Zero premiums, a little bit extra dental and vision, stuff like that. And yeah, so if you're never going to get sick, Medicare Advantage all the way. But if you do get sick, then Medicare Advantage nickels and dimes you. Medicare supplement, if you got $1 million cancer treatment, you pay $240 and you're done. So, all right, let's see here. Oh, here we go. Some tricks here. If you have an iPhone, consider turning on silence unknown callers. Don't save pests in your contacts. Good. Yeah, I had an iPhone, but yeah. So silence unknown callers. Never stop. They keep calling, keep asking them to stop calling. Yeah, that's that's the problem, is when one person calls and they're nice and whatever, and you please stop calling. They say, oh, okay, all right, I won't call you anymore. They won't call you anymore. But the problem is then they'll sell your information to somebody else. And then that person will sell the information to somebody else. And then, yeah, that's the problem. Myrna. Oh, Myrna's doing very well. She only receives 4 calls a day. Yeah, that's kind of sad. After 3 years of never answering my phone, the random calls have almost completely stopped. Yeah, but that's a problem. And this is like, come on, this is our phones. This is, if people are knocking on our door like that, which you can't do as a Medicare Advantage, you cannot knock on people's doors. I know. For like burial insurance, health, life insurance and pest control and stuff like that, you can cold call, cold knock. But Medicare, no, you can't do that. That's why they always wear those buttons. You go to Walmart and you see someone say, ask me about Medicare Advantage or ask me about Medicare. And yeah, because you actually have to ask them about it before they can talk about it. That's how strict the regulations are for Medicare. And then if you see those little booths in like a drugstore or wherever, and the table is there and they've got their little Medicare stuff, and they never they look like terrible salespeople because they never approach you or do anything like that. So you're like, wow, these are not very good salespeople. No, because they're not allowed to. You have to walk up to the table and start talking to them, pretty much, for them to start talking to you. So that's part of the regulations. But again, all of these regulations just might go out the window because CMS has no more authority according to the Supreme Court. So that might all change. I know there's, these organizations are out there finding their sympathetic judges right now. So all of that changes. So they can knock on your door. So in the future, they might be able to cold call you and knock on your door and, climb in your window at night. I don't know. So I don't know about that last part. Maybe I'm just exaggerating just a little bit. Let's see, 12 to 15 calls a day for well over 2 months. And then one of the things they did pass, which is probably going to change now, is the during the AEP, the annual enrollment period in October, you see all those commercials, pretty much, all day and night from, football players and starship captains and all the rest of it. And they were advertising, you know, kind of falsely advertising in some respects. They were saying, hey, we can get you this and we can get you that. And what they were doing is they were finding the best plan in the country, and then advertising to everywhere. So, there's, let's say, for instance, there's in Paris, Texas, there's some company that, gives you $5,000 of dental or something. And then they would take that one plan that's only available in Paris, Texas, and advertise it in the entire country. And then people from Miami and Maine and Oregon would call and say, "Oh yeah, well, I'm sorry, it's not available in your area." And then they do the hard sell and stuff like that. CMS came down and said, "No, you can't do that anymore. So you're not allowed to do that anymore. You can only advertise plans in the area which they're available." So that was a good change, which might be going away. Megan, why aren't my remarks showing up? Not sure. Let's see here. Lucy in the Sky. My retired husband is having a ball with these guys. I used to too. And when I worked at Social Security, I'd be in my office at the Social Security Administration. I get a call on my personal phone from someone saying, "Yeah, I'm calling for Social Security and we're going to shut down your Social Security number." And I used to harass them. If I had a little bit of time, I was on my lunch break or something, I would harass them a little bit. And so ask them Social Security questions. It was kind of fun. My first Social Security payment is due tomorrow, the 10th of July for June. Awesome. All right. Congratulations. Good day, sir. Can my wife, now 62, get spouse benefits if I am on SSI? No. If you're on SSI, that's a welfare-based benefit. So if you're just on SSI, then you're not eligible for Social Security, and therefore she is not eligible for Social Security. Let me answer this question again. Do you mean regular Social Security and you mean not SSI, the welfare-based program? A lot of people make that mistake. But if you are receiving Social Security and not SSI, if you're receiving Social Security, yes, she can start her benefits, her spouse benefits now. She has to start her own benefits first. So she starts her own benefits and then she files another claim for spouse benefits, and she can do that at the same time. Let's see. Glad you called and they hung up. My daughter lost her spouse, age 55. Wow, way too early. Not collecting Social Security. She was told she could never collect his Social Security. Not sure who or what said that, but yeah, a spouse can collect surviving spouse benefits at 60 years old, um, unless she remarries. Um, she can remarry after the age of 60. But yeah, I'm not sure why they said she ever collect. She can, if her benefit amount is higher, she'll have to make that decision whether to collect on her own or, start survivor benefits and don't touch hers and let hers increase. But were they married for at least 9 months? If they and there's a couple of exceptions. You're married for 9 months, or if it's less than 9 months, it was an accident, or the person was serving in the military line of duty type thing. Alright. I'm 64. In general, is it easier to get approved for SSDI because of my age? Yeah, usually once because there's less opportunities to go out there and find work. So sometimes it's a little bit easier once you get older to get Social Security because of the work issues. So, but apply. Watch my 4 videos I did on how to file for Social Security and everything, and yeah, and then file. Someone's getting 20 calls a day. Oh my gosh. That just ruin your life. You're waiting for friends or relatives to call you up, and you have to deal with navigating all these people harassing you. Uh, Ed, you can pin your comment so it's easier everyone to click. Oh, wonder if I can do it because I'm not doing it directly through YouTube. Let me try this again. Oh, there's a little star thing there. Maybe that did it. You guys are awesome looking out for me. Will companies send you so-called Medicare from Nebraska in the mail? Will companies send you stuff in the mail? My neighbor is saying that if she changes to them, she will only have to pay $75. I told her to throw it away till October. Yeah, yeah, once you hit 65, then yeah, everybody in the country, wants to take you to the turning 65 Medicare dance. But yeah, they send you all kinds of stuff, and it looks official too. That's another thing that CMS came down on, is they said these companies can't use Medicare in their name. So if you see these companies, they're called themselves, Medicare experts or Medicare University or Medicare whatever. They're not supposed to be using Medicare in their name. That's not allowed anymore. But still got a lot of companies that are using that right now until they, I guess everything changes. And you can't use a Social Security card like in the background to pretend like you're Social Security. If you have a Social Security card on the screen and you're talking about the Social Security card, you can do it, but you can't do it and kind of tricking people into thinking you're from Social Security or Medicare. So that's how I always put, on mine. Former Social Security manager. Former. I am no longer employed with the Social Security Administration. But yeah, if she gets stuff in the mail, I told her there's something about she will only have to pay $75. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that is. Megan, I noticed some comments got deleted. Huh. Yeah, I don't delete comments unless it's just really uncivil. My mom passed away in November and I'm getting calls 7, 8 times a day. Oh my gosh. All right, my wife's 62, working part-time, still working out. Can she get spouse benefits even if I am okay? Again, I'm assuming you don't mean SSI, the welfare-based program. I assume you just mean Social Security. Yeah, as long as she stays under the annual earnings limit, which is $22,320, then yep, she can collect benefits. And even if she's over that, then Social Security will hold back $1 for every $2 she goes over. Only $75 for her Medicare. Okay, so yeah, so that sounds like it's a Medicare supplement, probably a Plan N. But there are Part D plans out there that are like $75 a month. If you take a lot of medication, sometimes that's actually the best plan. But yeah, that's, it's, and there are some Medicare Advantage plans out there that have monthly premiums. So it really depends. And she says she's in Nebraska, I think, and so might not have a lot of options in Nebraska. But yeah, wait till October. Just wait till October. If she's good with her plan right now, just wait till October when the new ones come out. Get your agent or broker to help you out, or give us a call. Fill in the little thing and say, "Hey, Ed, call me in October," and I'll have one of my people call you in October. And we don't sell your information. It's just me and the network team I work with, and they call you up, and that's it. But you have to give us authorization, and so we don't call you if you don't tell us to call you. My SSDI claim online says the DDS has completed my medical review, and a representative has started a final review to make sure that I still meet the non-medical requirements. Is that good? Yeah, generally. Yeah, but you never know with the online thing. I applaud Social Security for provide that information, but it's garbage in, garbage out type thing. If the people code it incorrectly, and then it generates some weird messages. But usually that is a good sign. So what it is basically when you took your claim, you went to your local Social Security office, or whatever, did it online, and you filled out all the information. The local Social Security office gets it. They look at it all, make sure you're insured, make sure you're currently insured, make sure your name and all that kind of good stuff is correct. And then they send it up to DDS, the Disability Determination Service. They do the medical stuff. They get your medical records, and then they check it. So it looks as though that is all done. And then they send it back to the local office for adjudication. So the local office looks at everything, make sure you're still alive and kicking, and make sure you didn't go back to work and stuff like that. And then they push the button and get your benefits started. So that is usually, it's a very good sign. I've had 2 occasions that I had to talk to Social Security agents. Both agents out of Jamaica, New York, were very professional and courteous, hoping this trend continues. Awesome. Yeah, that's probably the processing center, not a field office. There's 9 regional offices, and they also have processing center, payment centers attached to them. And Jamaica is a big one. So good to hear that. I like that. I like positive news. I called Social Security about filing for DSB. Had appointment on second half call today, but last called from the office saying they wouldn't even know what to adopt it until, yeah, DSB. What is DSB? Just, are you thinking maybe disabled surviving benefits? That's a DWIB, disabled widows benefits. DAC is disabled adult child. Not sure what DSB is. Stopped answering your phone years ago. Let's see. I'm already getting a Medicare plan. Advertisements in the mail, and I have a year to go still. Yeah, they don't mess around, do they? It's you don't really get it from Medicare supplement plans, because they don't make a whole bunch of money in Medicare supplement plans. So, but they do make tons of money in Medicare Advantage plans. So those are the ones you're probably receiving, and those are the ones, therefore, they pay the agents and brokers more money when you sign up for Medicare Advantage. And it's counterintuitive. People think all the time, says, "Oh, Ed, you're selling these you like to promote these Medicare supplement plans because your brokers make more money in Medicare supplements." No, they make more money in Medicare Advantage, even though it's zero premium. It's completely counterintuitive. Medicare supplements have a monthly premium, $80, $100, $125. Medicare Advantage have zero premium, but these, everybody makes more money. These, everybody makes less money, but it's more beneficial to you because you don't have the networks and the pre-authorizations and all that kind of stuff. So the reason I prefer those is because I like to sleep at night. I currently receive SSDI, and because I'm not 51, wanted to know if it'd be better off filing for DSB. Yeah, again, I'm not sure what DSB is. So I'm assuming you're talking about disabled widows benefits, DWIB, DWB. Okay, that's fine. Never heard it called DSB before. SSDI, and because I'm not 51, wanted to know if it'd be better off filing for disabled widows benefits on deceased husband now that yeah, if you're entitled to disabled widows benefits, and that's higher benefit than your current SSDI, 100%. Yes, apply. Absolutely. And what it is it's 71.5% of your deceased spouse's primary insurance amount. So if that amount is higher, please file. So call up the 800 number and schedule an appointment, and they will check it out and see if it's more money and see if it's beneficial to you. Absolutely. Let's see. Can I draw off my ex-husband I was married to the first time 28 years, then divorced and remarried now for 3 years? Can I draw off my ex-husband benefits on him? He is 63, not draw. No, because if you're currently remarried, then no. So you can, okay, yep. All right. I think I pinned it. I did the little heart. Maybe that pinned it. I don't know. Again, I'm not doing this directly through YouTube or anything, so maybe I could do it on YouTube, but not through my little thing I do. Is pension pay considered income for Social Security? So it really depends what we're talking about. So and where it's from. So if you work for a state, local, or city agency that does not pay into Social Security, then yes, that pension does count. If you are receiving SSI, the welfare-based benefit, yes, that pension does count. Everything else, it doesn't. You're good. Doesn't count as income. Cadillac Jack, hey, where you been? Long time no see. How's everything? Boomer, born in 58. My full retirement age is 66 and 8 months. So do I have to be 66 and 8 months old the entire month? Oh, no, you don't have to do the entire month on that one. Or can I start the benefit? Yep, you can start at 66 and 8 months. Yep. The only time it's the full thing is at 62. You have to be 62 the entire month. So when you wait, for instance, like you're 70 and get those full delayed retirement credits, you can do it the month you turn 70. You don't have to be 70 the entire month or anything. Okay, and tell yeah, disabled spouse benefits. It's called if your spouse is deceased, it's disabled widow benefits, but there is no disabled spouse benefits, only disabled widows benefits. So if your spouse is currently alive, then there's no disability based on their record. So yeah, I just want to make sure I get that correct. Do illegal aliens get Social Security? No. That is common thing that's out there that, Social Security money is going to Ukraine and it's going to illegal people, not in this country legally. What is the other internet myth? The politicians stole the trust fund. That's why it's in dire straits. Now, all of that is incorrect. It's distraction, so we don't focus on the real problems, the demographic issues, the reason, all the money you have paid in Social Security, everybody paid in Social Security, every nickel and dime is all present or accounted for. It's easy to check. Go into the monthly Social Security trust fund and you can see that it's there. Illegals getting benefits. When you file for Social Security, I've done hundreds of thousands of applications. We have to get your proof of citizenship or legal status in the country. So you can't get it if you don't have it. And we double check through the INS to make sure it's correct. So I did a video a little while ago about anywhere from 13 to 27 billion dollars is being donated to Social Security by people working in this country illegally, overstaying their visas or whatever the case may be. And yeah, they'll never get that money back because, unless they become citizens or something like that later in life. But then there's limitations on that. Yes, married 4 years. He served in the military. He was retired from a state job, but not collecting Social Security. Okay. Yeah. So probably that's why if they are saying that you can never collect benefits because he possibly never paid into Social Security. So he paid into a state organization, state entity that did not play with Social Security. So and if he was in the military for a little while, unless he served 20 years or 10 years and, paid into the government for 10 years, then he's probably not insured for Social Security. That's probably the case. Is disability the same as Social Security? I am 58 and wondering when I'm 65. Is there some other pay? Yeah, Social Security. Other programs have disability, but Social Security does have a disability component. Yeah, Social Security disability. It's called SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance. And there's also supplemental security income, which you can get based on a disability for people that did not pay that much into Social Security or at all. All right. Will I have to pay taxes on my SSDI and pension? Yeah, I don't do taxes. There's just too many. There's already enough exceptions to the exceptions on Medicare and Social Security. But in terms of taxes, yeah, you need to talk to your tax broker. Some people do pay taxes on their Social Security and some people don't. And some states. So even if I said, oh, yeah, with how much you make, you don't have to pay taxes. And then I don't know what state you're in. So call me up next year and say, hey, you told me I didn't have to pay taxes. So that's why I don't deal with taxes because your state you might have to pay state taxes on it. Let's see. Let's see. Carol, what happens to the Social Security money of deceased beneficiary with no claims to? Yeah, it just stays in the trust fund. Yeah, I used to get that question a lot when I worked at Social Security, and people said, "Yeah, I deceased, and what's going to happen to the money?" I said, "Well, actually, I just had a young family in today, lost a father in a car wreck. Um, the father was only like 28 years old, had 3 kids, and he only paid, the father only paid a few $1,000s into Medicare, into Social Security, but these 3 children will receive benefits until they're 18 years old. So that's where the money goes. Yep, Penelope, it stays in the fund. Yeah, and it goes out. Yeah, the big issue with the whole solvency thing is, they plan for the baby boomers, the 76 million baby boomers coming. And that's why there is a trust fund for those baby boomers. And so they planned for that in the 1980s. They started taxing Social Security because they were planning for that. They increased stuff. They decreased some benefits for other people. The people that were not playing in with Social Security. So they thought that would take care of it, but they didn't plan. They didn't foresee the fact that so much money is going outside of the Social Security system. So the rich are getting richer. Congratulations to them, but they're not paying Social Security on 10% of what they used to. So 30, 40 years ago, 10% more of income was subject to FICA tax. But now that income has gone to the top, the richest, and therefore you're not able to, get FICA for that money. And so that's depleted Social Security income. And we're just not having enough kids that are going to work and paying into it. So that is also an issue. So, but we're distracted with, it's all going to the illegals or it's stolen or it's going to Ukraine, and we're not being serious about it and focusing on the real issues. We're just, falling for the distractions. I'm going to talk about that. I think tomorrow, the next day. 3 easy ways to destroy Social Security. Let's see. What are the other questions? Tax question. I'm on Social Security disability and only receive $1,400 a month after working 48 years. Yeah, it's completely determined on how much you actually paid into Social Security, the high 35 years. So what they do is they take your averaged index monthly earnings and say, okay, over your high 35 years, this is how much you make. And it's usually about a 43% replacement value. So it's based on, how much you actually paid into Social Security on average throughout your life. Not, 60 years, 70 years, because they only count the high 35 years, unfortunately. Where can I watch your video? But I do agree with you. It's low. It should be higher. The COLA that they use, I think every year for the past 20 years is 2% lower than it actually should be. They use a different calculator, a different system. Then I think they should use another one for the elderly. But what are you going to do? Where can I watch your videos? Yep, go to YouTube. Just type in, go into YouTube and type in Dr. Ed Weir or MyGov Expert, and over 500 videos will show up. Is Plan F a good plan? Yeah, Plan F was the best plan. It covered everything. But now I would not recommend Plan F. Because number one, you probably can't get it because it was phased out, and you have to be very, very old to get it now. You have to be grandfathered in based on your age. And the people that are in Plan F, most of them are trying to bail from Plan F, get out of Plan F, because the pool of people in Plan F is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and sicker and sicker and sicker. So they're raising the prices more and more and more. So yeah, people on Plan F are switching to G or an N. So yeah, Plan F used to be the best, but nope, not anymore. What hours do you go live? Yeah, usually about this time. I just switched. Before I was doing like 4 o'clock on this time, and 3:45 or whatever. I switched it. Now I'm doing basically was it 3 o'clock West Coast time, and then 6 o'clock. So I just changed it. I'm going to be doing different hours, not very much different, but next couple of days, and then I'll do it the same time every day. I'm 63. I'm 63. I draw from my deceased husband. Do I have to switch to Medicare when I turn 66? You mean 65? And if you have health insurance from work, then no. If you have current health insurance from work, yours or your spouse's, if you've got remarried, and your employer has 20 or more employees, then no, you do not need to sign up for Medicare if you don't want to. Once you stop working and stop receiving health insurance from current work, yours or your spouse's, then you can sign up for Part B and there's no penalty whatsoever. You have 8 months from that time to sign up. Kathy, thank you for what you do. It is appreciated. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is Social Security payments automatic if a person has set up with direct deposit? Yeah, once you file a claim and yeah, you get everything set up. Yep, it's a direct deposit, so it usually gets actually in there about a day or two probably before, especially with the weekend and everything. I live in a 55 plus community and posted on several bulletin boards your YouTube information. Thank you, everyone. Super thank any. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, I use my outstanding graphic design skills to design a little flyer type thing. So if you look on the YouTube, I forget what it's called, community or what do they call it? I'm looking it up right now. Posts, yeah, the posts part of YouTube. You click the posts tab, it'll pop up there, and you can it's a PDF, and you can print it off in color or black and white. And yeah, I've got a couple of different sizes. So please, yeah, paper your town. We need to get information out there. Y'all have found tens of millions of dollars for benefit for money for people out there. And again, I always say y'all did because I just make the videos and y'all are the ones that get them in the hands of the people that need them. So let's see here. What percentage is deductible for windfall elimination? Yeah, so basically what they do is they bring it down. So if you're what happens on the windfall elimination provision is Social Security, according to the system, they think you've been poor all your life. So what they do is they give you a 90% replacement rate of your benefit amount. So that's 45% basically is a welfare-based benefit. But you're not entitled to that welfare because you just didn't pay into Social Security, and you haven't been eating out of the trash can for the past few decades. So what they do is they bring you down basically to where everybody else, all the other 95% of people in the country get about a 43% replacement rate, 43, 44, but you're getting a 90. People that are low income get 90, but you don't fall within that category. So the windfall elimination just brings you back down to what everybody else gets. And people think it's a deduction. No, it's not a deduction. We're just not giving you the extra money. It's not a reduction. It's not a deduction. You don't get the welfare benefit. How many months before I qualify for Social Security should I apply? 1, 2, 3 months. Yeah, you can't do it more than 3 months. But yeah, a couple, 3 months is more than enough. You can do it online. Call the 800 with schedule an appointment. What does that mean for a Medicare if employer don't have 20 or more employees? Then that means you do have to sign up for Medicare. Because if you don't, then you're going to get sent the bill from your health insurance company. Because what happens is if your employer has less than 20 employees, then you turn 65, Medicare becomes the first payer. So if you don't sign up for health insurance or for Medicare, then your health insurance, if they get a bill for $1,000, they're going to send it to Medicare. So Medicare can pay 80%. But if you don't have Medicare, they will bill you the 80% plus the 20%. So you're basically going to be paying it possibly all. When I become eligible, how many months in advance should I file for Social Security? Yep, 1 or 2 or 3 months is more than enough. Husband died in 94. Income was lower than mine. Can I pause my SSDI to claim his? No, you don't have to pause it. You can just add his, if if his benefit amount as a surviving spouse benefit amount is more than your SSDI, then yeah, you just add his on top of yours minus your own. So, because if you withdraw your SSI, then SSDI, then so that basically means you're going to say I'm no longer disabled. So they just might stop your Medicare too. Will you post the 800 number, please? Yeah. It's mine is on the homepage there, or you can follow the little LinkedIn thing. Are you talking about 800 and the Social Security? That's 800-772-1213. I can't do it on TikTok here because I've got this little phony thing. TikTok is strange. Let me see here. Thank you for you and your team doing a great service. Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's see. Just for fun. Okay, here we go. I've been watching the new MeToons channel over the air cartoon channel. Half the ads are for Medicare Advantage. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's going to get worse when, yeah, because again, Medicare supplements, they don't make the money. So they don't have the money for advertising like Medicare Advantage. So that gives you a clue that how much money is in it for Medicare Advantage. Yeah, that's why it's going to get crazy because of the Supreme Court ruling. All that money these health insurance companies make with Medicare Advantage, they make tons of money. And CMS has come down and says, y'all are costing us way too much. So they started reducing the amount paid, per enrollee. And so health insurance companies are going to sue and say, hey, you can't make regulations anymore. Our buddy judge in, Biloxi, Mississippi is going to decide how much, we get paid. And yeah, then it's a Pandora's box. It's not going to be fun. But I will be here keeping up on all this and making sure y'all know how to take advantage of the situation, and get everything you're entitled to. So I'll keep on keeping on. My deceased husband was granted Social Security disability and first payment was to start May 1st. He died April 16th. Wow. Could I be eligible for widow's benefit at Social Security disability rate? No. I am 64, still working until 65. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, you would not at the disability rate because you could if you wait until your full retirement age, then you'll receive what he was receiving. So, but if you start your benefits early, then it's going to be reduced. So if you wait until your full retirement age, then yes, you can start now if you're earning under $22,320 a month. But looks like you're still working, so you're good. But you're 64, but remember, 65, you have to start thinking about Medicare unless you have health insurance from work. Thank you for answering my first question earlier. Now I'm second question. Okay, I retired at 62. Do we get our 100% pension at our FRA? Yeah, if you wait until your full retirement age to file, then yep, you get your full retirement age. But what do you mean by retired? You retired from your company or you started your Social Security? If you started your Social Security, then you're reduced. Once you're reduced, and you continue getting your money, then you're always reduced. I'm going to do a video on that one about how to increase your reduction, how to unreduce your reduction. I'll do a video on that in the next week or so. I replied 3 months ago and set my own date, then received the acceptance letter a month later. My first payment should be tomorrow. Yeah, if your MOE, you start it in June, then you will get your first check in July. Is TRICARE the best supplement for veterans? Yeah, TRICARE is not really a supplement. That is a retired military health insurance system. So TRICARE for life. It switches from TRICARE to TRICARE for life once you retire. So yeah, TRICARE. Yeah, people love TRICARE, and they have to get Medicare though. You have to get Medicare Part A, Part B. So you get Medicare Part A, Part B. You get your TRICARE for life, and some get a Medicare Advantage plan because it's zero premium, and depending on your area, you might find one that's called usually they call them like Patriot or Honor plans that also pays for part of your Part B. So you get some extra benefits and you get your Part B paid for partially or all of it, depending on your particular area. But you have to be careful on those. If you ever go to a hospital outside of TRICARE or something like that, you can do it. It's no problem. It just takes a couple of extra bureaucratic steps. Um, but hey, you get part of your Part B paid for. You might get some extra, benefits and stuff. So, I yeah. So it really depends. It's either way is fine. When we were kids, the ads were for cereal and toys. Yeah, wasn't it? Right? Or Schoolhouse Rock. Medicare Advantage needs to stop some of that advertising instead of taking it out of our pockets. Yeah, yeah, I agree. But that's how they get the money out of our pockets is through that advertising. So let's see. Can I apply for part of my husband's retirement benefits and have mine as well as, or is this? Yeah, if your benefit amount, you have to file for Social Security benefits on your own record. And then if your spouse's benefit amount is more than twice yours, that person has to file. So once that person files, you can get up to half of their benefit amount. If you file early, it's reduced. But yeah, it really depends on the benefit amount. But he has to file first. So if you've already filed for your benefits on your record and he's already filed for benefits on his record, and see if his is more than twice. But don't look at your benefit amount. Here's a lot of people losing money out there. If you just look at your check amount and look at his check amount, that's not what one doubled the other one. It's the full benefit amount. It's called the PIA, the primary insurance amount. That's the numbers that determine which is 50%. So if yours is like $600 and his is 1,000, then it's kind of close-ish, because he might have filed early and you might have filed late or whatever. So I would call Social Security and just say, hey, is there any money left over there? Call the 800 number and ask if it looks like it just might be a little bit close. They should not be able to call Medicare Advantage as Medicare. Um, yeah, yeah, because Medicare supplements are called Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage called Medicare Advantage. One thing I definitely don't think they should do is call Medicare Advantage Medicare Part C, because then it really sounds official. I know there's a lot of Congress people that are trying to get that changed, but with all the stuff coming on, there's half of the country's political party wants to make Medicare Advantage the default. I talked about that a couple of days ago. So, um, Danny, what's up, Danny? I am turning 62 in September. Did I hear you say I can file for Social Security 2 months early? Yeah, but you have to be 62 the entire month. So if you're not 62, if you were born September 1st, then you're good. But any other day, then your benefits, your first check will be available October. So month of entitlement will be October, and then you'll get your October check in November. So yeah, you can call in September, August. You can call now. So call now and schedule an appointment. And your appointment won't be for probably next month anyway. Or if you go online, you can file online. But yeah, number one thing is to go in there, make sure you set up the Social Security account, My Social Security, and go in there and please, please, please check your earnings record, because that's how they determine how much you're going to get for the rest of your life, is how much you're actually paid into the Social Security system. And your earnings record will show all those years. So just go in there and check to make sure they're right. What you're really looking for most of the time is a 0 year. So if you worked all throughout the 80s, but in 1985 it says 0, and you worked for the same company all in the 80s, then something happened there. Somebody typed in the Social Security number wrong. So just at that time when you file your claim, say, hey, I was looking at my earnings record in 85, it's 0. I work for the same company. And the Social Security employee will look into what's called a suspense file, and they'll say, oh, here it is. They'll see the EIN, the employer identification number, and oh yeah, here, yeah, okay, I see it here. Danny, yeah, here's got your name and everything. Somebody typed in the Social Security number wrong. So they'll grab those earnings, put it into yours, and your benefit will be correct for the rest of your life. So, and make sure you tell them about any military service. I'm a nurse, retiring at 65 next May of 2025. The amount of funds I will have made will be more than 22,000. Will that be an issue? The amount of funds. So income, yeah, funds don't matter. But if you're talking about income, you can do the year you retire, because you're still filing early. So 65 is not your full retirement age. Yours is probably what, 66 and 8 months or 10 months or 67. But the year you file, they can switch you to a monthly test. So let's say, so May, so you're going to start your benefits in May of next year. They don't care what you made in January, February, March. So you can make $1 billion in those first 3 months. They only care about May, or 4 months. They only care about starting, if you're going to start your benefits in May, they only care about May. So starting in May, are you going to be under the monthly limit? So for this year, the monthly limit is $1,860, $22,320 divided by 12. Next year, it'll be $23,000, $24,000 for the year. And as long as you're under the monthly limit, what is going to be $1,900, $2,000 or so per month, then you're good. You can collect your Social Security benefits and continue to work. And then once you hit your full retirement age, you can go back to making $1 billion a month again. So, why did my Social Security, which was used for 4+ decades, not used on a replacement card? So they changed your Social Security number? They give you another one? Maybe, yeah, I don't know. You have your same Social Security number forever. People always used to come into the office and say, yeah, I want to change my Social Security number. So, okay, why do you want to change it? Oh, I messed up my credit. Sorry, it has nothing to do with Social Security. That's credit. We changed people's Social Security number, but usually it involved the FBI coming in with them and saying, okay, this person is in the witness protection program and we need to change this person's ID. And so that's when we changed Social Security numbers. I mean, it was very, very unique situation where we changed someone's Social Security number. But yeah, maybe you had two, they accidentally issued you two. That has happened. You get your Social Security number when you're 2 years old, and then you move to another state and you lost it when you're 18, and then you get another one and they accidentally issue another one. So maybe, yeah, maybe that's the case. But that's called scrambled earnings, which is kind of a nightmare to fix. But what happens is you had two Social Security numbers and your earnings are on one, but this is your actual one. So what they will do is determine which one is going to be your actual one. And if it's determined this one without the earnings, then they'll just take all those earnings and post them onto this one and then close out the Social Security number. But then, because credit reporting agencies and all that kind of stuff use a Social Security number, which they really shouldn't, but that's the reality, that might cause you issues there. So yeah, somewhere along the line, you got two numbers, it sounds like. All right, it's over an hour. I think that'll do it. There's some other questions out there, but I apologize, we're out of time today. Make sure you join me again tomorrow. I will be back here again tomorrow talking about something. I forget what the topic is, but join me first thing, type your question in.